Hey, what is up guys, I'm KBHD here, and if you remember the first Nexus 7, that was one of the most popular Android tablets of all time, mostly thanks to that bang for the buck ratio. It was a lot of tablet for a very low price. So here comes the second generation, the 2013 Nexus 7, it's brand new, and while there are a lot of minor improvements and a lot to the spec upgrades that you get with a new version of any device, there are three main reasons why this tablet can actually be considered the best Android tablet that you can buy right now for any price. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a closer look. This is a full review of the 2013 Nexus 7. So the first of the three things that make this tablet so great is the form factor. This is of course a tablet with a 7-inch display, and it's sort of a mid-sized device that puts it right between one-handed and two-handed use. If you want to type out a long email or something, you can use two hands on that keyboard. Or if you just want to scroll on a magazine or use it casually, it's easily a one-handed device as well. A lot of this is because the Nexus 7 is so light, coming down to just 290 grams, which is now slightly lighter than the iPad mini and about the same thinness as the iPad mini as well, which is impressive. And overall, it's very comfortable to hold. It has that soft touch back with gentle curves in your hand, and this also happens to be a very well-balanced tablet, which is harder to do than you might think. It's not top-heavy or bottom-heavy. The battery is just about where you'd want it to be, and we'll talk about that a little later, but it's in just the right spot where no matter how I'm holding it, it's a pleasure to use. Now, there are some notable changes to the outside when compared to the old Nexus 7. Those are the bezels, the speaker, and the camera on the back. The bezels are indeed thinner on the sides, but bigger on the top and the bottom, which actually makes it a bit narrower and taller. And at first glance, you might think, oh, those unsightly bezels, why did they do that? It looks so ugly. But when you start using the tablet, you soon realize that these bezels are really the only place to put your fingers when holding it in landscape mode, watching videos, gaming, etc. So it's actually a good thing that they put these there for easier use. The speakers are new, and they're pretty good. They're stereo speakers, and they're located on the opposite sides of the back of the device. Now, yes, they're still back-facing speakers, and as someone spoiled by the Nexus 10's front-facing speakers, it's kind of hard to go back to these rear-facing tablet speakers. But on the whole, these are quite nice at normal volumes, and they distort a little bit at high volumes, but I think this is one of the parts of the tablet where they skimped a little bit to save money and tried to enhance it after the fact using some virtual surround sound software. It didn't really work. These are just, normal sounding stereo speakers. And then we're at that 5 megapixel rear facing camera. I just want to say it's a camera on a tablet. I wouldn't expect it to be good in any way, and at this point it kind of confuses me why they chose to include it anyway. The images and video it takes are pretty muted in color, not very sharp, and this Nexus 7 is $30 more expensive than the first generation. Couldn't they have hit that magical $199 price point again if they didn't include this cheap, crappy camera sensor and glass on the back? I don't know, who knows, but you still look at it and feel a little bit awkward taking pictures on your tablet anyway, so I would just ignore the fact that there's a camera on this one. Now the second thing that makes this tablet so magnificent, and it's easily my favorite feature, is the new display. It's not just a great display for a tablet that's only $230, it's a great display for a tablet, period. I love the Nexus 7's new display, and anyone who loves pixels with me will love it too. It's a 1920 by 1200 panel, which gives it a pixel density of 323 pixels per inch. That's the sharpest of any tablet on the market right now. It's also the best viewing angles and colors of any tablet on the market right now. It's also an IPS display that gets brighter than any other tablet on the market right now. It's just phenomenal. It's incredibly responsive. Every time I turn it on, I smile a little bit because using a tablet with a display like this is such a pleasure. It makes you never want to put it down. So that leaves the third and final reason that this tablet has stolen my heart, and that is the operating system. It's a Nexus. Now listen, I've used a lot of Android tablets and phones out there, and there are a lot of great Android skins on phones that are actually catching up to the fluidity and experience from stock Android. Sense 5 on HTC One is a good example. That's becoming a more even playing field. But there is nothing, just nothing else that comes close to a Nexus experience on tablets right now. I have serious trouble recommending an Android tablet that isn't running stock Android or something close to it. The Nexus 7 is no exception. It performs beautifully well. Inside of it is a 1.5 gigahertz sort of beefed up Snapdragon S4 Pro, which is a great chip, and 2 gigabytes of RAM. But by the way it performs and handles all of the simultaneous apps and multitasking, general everyday use and responsiveness, I really don't care what's inside because this thing kicks ass. Now, I did a separate video all about the newest features of Android 4.3, so if you want to check that out, it'll be in the description right below that that like button, but overall, new customizations and trim support especially are just a home run on this tablet. It's so much fun to use. In fact, I think fun is a great word to describe this tablet. I found that if someone recommended an app or something for me to check out, I could just download it, install it, and start playing it in a matter of seconds without a hint of any sort of delay, which was great. I've had a lot of fun using this tablet. It really nails the experience. And the performance in the graphics, as you can see here with all the reflections and live rendering and physics that's going on, it's as high-end as it gets right now. I mean, if you want to play games, this tablet is so lightweight, it's almost a no-brainer thanks to the form factor. Now, all of this awesome stuff comes with one major downside. Remember how I told you the Nexus 7 is the same thinness as the first-gen iPad mini? Yeah, it's thinner than last year's Nexus 7, which means it also has a smaller battery in physical size. We're looking at a 3,950 milliamp hour battery here. This all means it won't last quite as long during regular constant use. You'll probably get about 8 or 9 hours out of it, but what's nice is it burns almost no battery in standby mode. I had one night where I forgot to plug it in at 27%, and I woke up the next morning and I was at 26%. So it's also a really power sipper when it's in standby. And it's also compatible with the Qi standard for wireless charging. So if you pick up a couple wireless chargers, you can have them in convenient locations, maybe an office or your home, so you never really have to worry about battery life. But you should know that this is indeed a smaller physical battery than the last Nexus 7. But dude, this tablet is so much fun. You'd be hard-pressed to find something that's genuinely bad to say about it. I've enjoyed using this tablet so much during the time that I've had it. I honestly think you will too. So at the end of the day, the Nexus 7 is another great tablet, and it's got a lot of reasons to upgrade to it over the old Nexus 7 or any other Android tablet out there, just because the price is so good, the performance is so good, and the display especially is so good. I could recommend this tablet for just about anyone. I'm likely going to be switching to this as my main tablet from the Nexus 10 that I was using earlier, just because it's a lot smaller and more portable, but it keeps that awesome display. I love the Nexus 10 display, but now I also love the Nexus 7 display, and this is more portable. So I'll be able to put all my textbooks on here and not carry a ton of heavy things in my backpack all the time. Either way, that's been it. Thank you for watching this brand new review of this brand new tablet. If you enjoyed it, definitely feel free to give a thumbs up below. But more importantly, if you want to see more videos like this in the future, there's a subscribe button below for you guys to hit if you're signed in. Either way, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.